Welcome back to the Football Terrace. We've had an epic week of Champions League football, rounded off tonight with Thursday night's football, which we're all so looking forward to. But it gets big again straight away. FA Cup semi-final weekend, Chelsea versus Manchester City. And the big question is, can Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea stop? Can they stop the quad? Can they stop history from being made by knocking Manchester City out this weekend? That's the big question that we're posing to you. Make sure you're smashing like buttons, leaving the comments in the section below. If you're watching the playback, if you're watching it live, see your live comments. And we have got an elite panel again for you today. Backed by popular demand, him and his famous curtain. It's man like Daniel in the house. The other Chelsea gentleman we've got today, it's him and his famous hair. It's man like Jem, looking fresh. That hair had looked the same for a year of lockdown. There's no doubt about it at all. KJ's with us as well, sitting there. I don't know who he's texting. He's doing something, selling shares, buying something on Amazon. He's a busy, busy guy. Yan City's in the house, buzzing after their victory last night through to that semi-final, looking confident ahead of that quad. And of course, the Football Terrace Queen is in the house. Chelsea royalty, Terrace royalty. Anita is here, back looking fresh as ever. Evening, everyone. How you all doing?
All good.
Good.
Another day.
Good. That's a bit of a, look at that. Four of you are in a Champions League semi, and you're like, oh, yeah, fine. Come on, where's the excitement? Where's the excitement?
When we win it, I'll be excited.
Told you already, Terry. Bigger fish to fry. Bigger fish to fry.
Like lame. I'm excited. I'm so excited. You guys are lame, man. Like, come on, like, just take it in now whilst you can. Like, what's wrong with you people? Smile. What's wrong with you? Who would have thought we would be in the semi-final? Do you know what? You lot pissed me off the other day because when I was watching, I'm thinking, why are you not so gloomy? What's wrong with you?
When you go to the fun fair, until you win that prize, that's when you start smiling. You don't start smiling.
This ain't a fun fair. This ain't a fun fair. We were against all the odds to get to a semi-final.
Not really. We beat Porto.
Yes, we were.
Nah.
When Lampard was here,
is to win things.
No. When Lampard was here, was anyone predicting you'd get to a semi-final? Yes or no?
But do you know what the key thing is?
The Champions League.
Hold on.
Do you know what the key thing is, Anita?
Yes or no? Yes.
Do you know what the key thing is, Anita? Lampard isn't here anymore. That's the point.
And that's the point. That's why we should be celebrating the fact that we managed to turn our season around and we're in the semi-final of the Champions League. We haven't been in the semi-final of the Champions League since 2014.
It's just another game. We need to win. When we get into the final, then maybe a little.
Yeah, when we get to the final, I'll be screaming.
I agree with Anita. You should be very happy with just happy with the achievement of getting to the semi-final. Not like
I think we are.
No, honestly, you two look like you've just been at a funeral. You honestly proper down in the dumps. How about yourself, Jan? Happy with the overall performance yesterday of City?
She should be.
Yeah. Do you know what? Like, I thought when we went 1-0 down, I thought, not again. But I actually was really impressed by the way we kind of handled the end of the game. We defended really well. I've not seen City defend like that in a long time. So, yeah, it was really good. I thought it was a good performance from us. I feel like we've finally got past that sort of quarterfinal thing. So hopefully we can go all the way. It's not going to be easy. You know, probably got the hardest team in the next round. So, yeah, it's going to be difficult. But if City of last night, that sort of determined Man City, that no matter what happens, there's fighting. If they turn up against PSG, we've got a chance. But if it's the sort of City of old, sort of last season and the season before, if that City turn up, you know, it's going to be a long night. So I don't know. I'm kind of like, I wanted us to get to, at the start of the season, I was like, Man City just need to get past the quarterfinals and I'll be happy. But yeah, as long as we turn up and try our hardest, even if we go out, I think it's progress in a way. Obviously, I would love to win it, but it's not easy. So yeah, hopefully we can get further.
And you should be happy, as you say, that milestone you got over it. There's no doubt about it. You know, you haven't had great success as a club in the Champions League since your new owners come in, let alone Pep being here. So to be in your second semi-final in the history of your club is huge thing. And I think you should be proud. And, you know, the doorway is open with Bayern Munich going out. Everybody's overwhelming favourites before the season begun, even through the group stages. It's open season for everybody now. But maybe what we're seeing now in the semi-finals, and I was kind of hoping that this would be the final of the FA Cup before the draw happened, because I had a little feeling Chelsea could get to a final of the Champions League and City. And I thought maybe I'd love to sometimes see in English football like one of these epic ends to a season where you get like an FA Cup final, the Champions League final, and maybe even a title race that involves the same two teams. It would be sort of just epic to watch. Won't quite happen that way, but it's really big test this weekend for Chelsea because the improvements under Thomas Tuchel have been gargantuan. I don't think anybody could deny that in any way, shape, or form. This is going to be the toughest team you've played. Anita, how are you feeling nervous? Are you excited to see how you fare against Man City? Where are the emotions at right now?
I'm a bit of both, because remember when we were like on a high with Tuchel and stuff, I said that one manager that can probably outsmart Tuchel was Pep. Like, I want to see if that can come to fruition. If it comes to fruition, like it'll be bittersweet, but it's kind of expected. So for me personally, anyway, I expect Pep to be the one to what's the word? Tacticize? I'm expecting Pep to be the one to outsmart Tuchel anyway when it comes to tactics. So I'm hoping we go out there. As long as we give it our all, like I'll be 100% fine with what the result is. Like I'll be absolutely fine. At the end of the day, people always say like, well, people move like they don't have to look at the past to see where they've come to right now. And to predict us being in an FA Cup semi-final and a Champions League semi-final as well, that is proper progress for Chelsea. So whether we go out on Sunday or not, I will be happy with the team as long as we go out there, give it our best. I just want to watch a good match. If we come up on top, Jan, sorry, I'll be in your ear. But if you go up on top, that's all down to Pep, innit? Maybe Pep would have, because he's got the superior team. Let's not get it twisted. He does have the superior team, so he is favourite. But if we do come out on top, that's something to look out for Pep, in my opinion. But otherwise, I'm on the fence with how it's gonna come out. I don't know if we're gonna win. I don't know if we're gonna lose, but I know it's gonna be a good game to watch. So yeah.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the team that wins this, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Southampton or to Leicester, but I feel like the winners of this semi-final are going to go on and win, the over-resounding favourites to go on and win the FA Cup. Yeah. Daniel, from your point of view, what do you think the excitement levels would be like amongst Chelsea fans if you outperform Chelsea and get through? Because it's the ultimate acid test, and I think it gives, you know, could it lay a marker for what's to come under Tuchel, or is that thinking too far ahead? You're on mute, bro.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, brother.
What you said was perfect, because it's kind of what I was alluding to when it comes to the happiness thing. With Chelsea, of course, it's taken so long for us to get to where we want to be in terms of actually be in the run-in for certain competitions, FA Cup and Champions League. And if you go back to 2012, when we were actually in the running again for both the FA Cup and the Champions League, when we beat Benfica, it wasn't the same level of happiness than when we beat Barcelona in the semi-final. If we beat Real Madrid in the semi-final, I will be jumping literally from the top of my roof. Like, that will be happiness. Do you know what I'm saying? And because you're getting to a final, I don't really want to. How many teams get remembered in the semi-finals? That's the point I'm making when it comes to the happiness thing. Of course, it's great to no. Of course, it's great to be in the semi-final, but you don't remember the team who gets to the semi-final. Yeah. At least let's get to the final. Do you know what I'm saying? And be worst case scenario, be the runners up. You don't remember the semi-finalists. I'm sorry, man. I don't personally, like, unless I go back and do the research if I'm trying to write an article. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Chelsea and just how major this game is, in my opinion, I think we actually have a better chance of beating Man City this weekend than we do Real Madrid. I think the FA Cup serves as a good avenue for us. No, 100%. I think the FA Cup serves as a good avenue for us to win our first trophy under Tuchel. And like you said, I do agree that, unfortunately, this side of the draw holds the winners of the FA Cup. So I think we've got to go into that game against Man City, especially with the fact that, and it might be an interesting point, but especially with the fact that Man City won against Dortmund, the fact that Man City were relieved to beat Dortmund means that they come into this game with just a little bit less motivation. Obviously, it sounds mad, but it's just the way football is. Sometimes when you get over the hump with something in particular, and me and Jan have spoken, we even spoke yesterday, and the fact that if Man City lost to Dortmund, they would have come in with so much more energy to beat Chelsea on Saturday. So it's look, I'm confident, and I'm more confident in winning this game than I am in beating Madrid. So yeah, man.
I hear you. Jan, it's the first time Man City will play Thomas Tuchel's Chelsea. What concerns do you have about going up against them? We know that they're hard to break down defensively, but they don't score too many goals. Where are your issues? Where are your worries about this team that's turned into a very good side under Tuchel?
I think I know that Leeds game was a little bit different because it wasn't our strongest squad, but I think that would concern me. I know it was one of them where we weren't focused on that game at all. It was all about Dortmund. But, you know, they had 2 shots, 2 goals, and we had 29 shots. I know not all of them were on target, but that sort of thing, our lack of sort of clinical edge sometimes could be a problem against Chelsea because, like you say, they are hard to break down. So if we are limited to a certain amount of chances and we don't take them, I think Chelsea could take theirs at the other end. I know they struggle as well, but it's just one of them things. I think it'll come down to who's more clinical, if I'm being honest, because I think we're both quite good defensively and we've both struggled a little bit going forward. I know Man City have scored more goals, but, you know, even when we've scored a lot of goals, how many chances have we missed? So, yeah, I think it will come down to who's clinical. And yeah, it could be a tactical masterclass from either manager, to be honest. So I don't know. I wouldn't say that I'm confident. I think our record against Chelsea in semis is not bad, to be honest. But it's a different team. It's a different manager. So
I hear you, Jan. I'm looking at this as a neutral, and there's this. I know you can watch videotapes of teams, but there's no substitute for having gone up against them before. These Chelsea players, for as example, have gone up against Man City. They know how they play. They know what to do. It's. I mean, the fact that's the one downside to having a very prescribed and famous pattern of play. It's easier to a degree to set up against it. With Chelsea, there's no one's really experienced. Everyone's experiencing it for the first time going up against them. I'm going to go to Jem in a minute about things from what Chelsea need to do to try and overcome Man City in this game. But KJ, from your point of view, where's your head at with this as a Manchester United fan? Are you full on royal blue of Chelsea or whatever the version of blue it is? I don't actually know. Are you sort of wearing a blue kit this weekend, screaming and shouting for Tuchel to stop this quad from happening?
No, because I don't. It's one of those ones where it's like either way, I lose. You got Man City going to do the quad, which is frustrating. But then I'll have these Chelsea fans like, oh, Tuchel, oh, yeah, look at Chelsea, we're back. And I'm just like, I can't deal with either, to be fair. I'd rather not. So if they both could lose, I would make them both lose. You know what I mean? Like, I actually would. But I think Man City, I just think Man City are just going to, again, win this game. Not because Chelsea are terrible, but Man City they've got the better team. They've got the manager who's had his team for the longest. They all know what they're doing. And I feel like Chelsea, their defense is very good. But I feel like Man City might have a bit too much for them in the end. They're relentless coming at them left, right, and centre. They have different ways of scoring goals, and it'll be a test that I know Chelsea have come and passed many tests. Man United they did it okay. They got the draw, but the Liverpool, the Atletico, Porto, they've had some big tests and they've come against it. But this is the biggest one they've had under Tuchel so far. And right now, I personally just don't see them overcoming it at the moment. So it'll be a Man City win, in my opinion.
I hear everything you said. Other than listen, again, dealing with Chelsea fans being happy, I can take a quad. That is, its history will never get rid of.
I know.
I mean, bro, I reckon it'll be easier to get rid of Winston Churchill's statue in London than it would be to get rid of it. Honestly, it's going to be there forever. And I'm a chill on Saturday from the moment I wake up on Saturday morning until the moment I go to bed. I'm singing Chelsea songs. I've still got to sing that Chelsea song, by the way. That'll be the time for me to sing it in my morning stream on Saturday. I still owe man that song, to be fair. I'll sing it. I'm going to have Chelsea songs on. I'm going to wear a blue T-shirt. I'm going to put more Chelsea posters up. I'm a Chelsea fan on Saturday with all my heart. I don't know all the songs. I don't know all the... I'm just Chelsea.
Plastic.
Chelsea. I'm going to sing songs. That's the only song
Listen, man complains about people wearing other team shirts, but yeah, he's singing their name like he...
On Saturday, I'm telling you, call me Chelsea bun, mate. I am a Chelsea boy through and through.
Carefree Terry in that, yeah?
I'm going to buy Chelsea buns. I'm going to put my Chelsea boots on. Chelsea boots are going on the whole damn lot. I'm in Chelsea. I'm going to put chinos on. I'm doing it, bruv. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to talk like Rory for a day. I'm going to go all posh. I'm going to do the whole shebang, bruv. I'm doing the whole thing. I need it to happen. We've got proper Chelsea. We've got some super chats here. Both managers could be rotating. City need fresher legs for the Champions League semis, and Chelsea need fresher legs for the Premier League and Champions League. I have seen big teams rotate in these semi-finals before when they're still in Champions League, so that could be the case. Got man like Zane. Don't see Zane very often anymore, but he's back today. Says no, I think it means no one can stop City, not even the PE teacher. I'm buying Haaland and Sancho, and even buying Haaland and Sancho won't stop City, is what man like Zane thinks. I want to ask you a question, Zane, while you're here. Are you winning in the Europa League tonight, bro? Let us know right now, my brother. We had another super chat here from Leg and Sweet. This is Sterling and Mahrez licking their lips when they see Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Wow. Intro. Sterling's kind of out of favour at the minute, which I want to speak to Jan about a little bit later. But Jem, from your point of view, bro, where are the weak points do you feel in City's team that Tuchel can exploit?
You have to ask me the hardest question, didn't you?
You're the most knowledgeable Chelsea fan we have, I was told. That's what your LinkedIn profile says.
Is it?
He was rattled.
That's why I was thinking to myself, did it? I think it all depends on how we play and how we set up against them. I think we need to pressure them. I think we need to play. We just need to get in their faces. I think from the go, like I said, we just got to be up in their face. Don't give them time on the ball. Kante's got to play for me. You got to keep people like Kevin De Bruyne quiet. If Phil Foden's playing for me at the moment, he's probably one of Man City's best players. If he is playing over the weekend, I think whoever it is, that whichever side he's playing on, you're going to have to potentially maybe man mark him throughout a game. I think. I'm not too worried about the striking force. Don't think Aguero will probably play. They might even play with a false nine, which they have been doing recently as well. So I don't expect my centre-backs to have to do too much, if that makes sense, other than watch runs being made from midfielders from deep. So I just think it's a weird one, Terry, because I feel like it just depends how we set up and how we sort of input ourselves onto them as well. Yeah. So
let me go further. Look, what Pep has done well is that he's protected certain individuals in that system. John Stones is average. I keep saying it. He is an average defender. Alexander Zinchenko is an average defender. They are both very, very average. And it's facts. And what players or what good managers do is that they protect key players in their system. What Pep did very well is he paired John Stones, who is a good baller, with a very, very good defender and a very good baller in Ruben Diaz, and then they formed a great partnership. When you have a centre-back, and look at Trent, that's why when Liverpool fans come out and say the reason why Trent isn't playing well is because Joe Gomez and Van Dijk aren't there, is because other players in this day and age protect the players who are less or they're not that great at defenders, and that happens. And that's because you put good players to protect the other players in your system. And that's even the problem. Yeah, it's all about the system right now these days. But and that's why one quick thing. Yeah. That's why we've seen an elevation in Jorginho's performances. Everything I've said about Jorginho is that I do think in terms of the Premier League, there's a lack of pace, this and that. But if you protect Jorginho within the system, you'll see the quality shine through. And that's what Tuchel has done. So what I'm saying now is, especially with the way that Leeds scored their goals as well, the second goal in particular. If Chelsea, which they can do on the counter attack, which we don't see in this day and age anymore, focus on the weak link. John Stones is a weak link. Remember that guy from in the Carabao Cup in League 2 or something like that? I think he tweeted that John Stones is average, and then he actually scored on John Stones as well. I can't remember who done it, but like it happened, didn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? So look, John Stones is a nice, tidy baller, but I personally believe he's a weakness. Kai Havertz with his movement can get in and around him. Mount as well. Christian Pulisic, I think, can be a key piece when it comes to attacking them, and we shouldn't be scared of them. We should go out there and try to attack and try to connect and try to form the patterns of play we've been forming recently. Of course, Man City are the better team. We know this, but you don't go into games saying, oh, because they're the better team, let's just go home. Do you know what I'm saying? So I personally think the game's there, and that's why I personally believe, and I'll keep saying, we have a better chance of winning this game than we do beating Real Madrid over 2 legs. This is a one-off at Wembley. We can win.
No, that's fair enough. You just need to get Tuchel to give Ollie a call, innit? Because that man there knows how to beat Pep. You know what I'm saying? Like that it's true though. It's true though.
It's
you know
true,
what I'm saying?
It is, but he does it with counter-attack football. The interesting thing was when I watched the Dortmund game yesterday, I thought Dortmund were, generally speaking, really poor when they tried to play out and counter. They just weren't very good at it at all. And part of that was because City played well. They pressed, they won the ball back. There was a lot of sloppy touches, barring 17-year-old sensation Jude Bellingham. I just thought, like people raved about Jack. You remember when people raved about Jack Wilshere's performance against Barcelona all those years ago? I thought Jude's performance last night in a lesser team was every bit as good, and he scored an absolute worldie. But if the counter-attack's done well against City, we've seen it in recent weeks with Manchester United and with Leeds, that they can be caught. I think where Chelsea need to be on point is putting that ball in the back of the net when the opportunities arise. Jan, I want to go to you before we go back to Chelsea. John Stones average, according to Daniel. Do you agree with that?
Nah, honestly, John Stones has actually been one of our best players this season. It's funny because I remember we were previewing the derby, before not the Premier League one, the actual, I think it was the League Cup. I think it was the semi. Yeah. And I remember everyone was slating John Stones, and he went and scored, So it's just one of them. Like, he's got 5 goals this season, I think. So it's just, he's not just playing well as a defender. I think, obviously, Diaz has improved him, but that can be said for any centre-back partnership. Whenever they get someone that's confident next to them, their level steps up a bit. But we've seen John Stones and Laporte keep clean sheets against Tottenham. So it's not even just Ruben Diaz. I think Stones is kind of being given some unnecessary hate. Don't get me wrong, he can be caught out in 1 or 2 situations, but there isn't a centre-back in the league who's never been caught out.
You even said to me, and this is like, because we talk, you said though that you would have preferred against Dortmund, Laporte and Diaz, and
my reason for that is one is left-footed and one is right-footed. So sometimes when they play 2 that are similar together, it doesn't work as effectively. But I think John Stones has been good. Like, I can't even, I can't really fault him this season because it's just overall he's been solid. I think that performance against Leeds, as bad as it was, if you actually watch it, it wasn't. John Stones was playing as like a number 10 in that game. I don't know what he was doing, but he was everywhere. And I thought he had a really, really good performance. The problem was we kind of had a makeshift left side. We had Aki, who'd just come back from injury. We had Zinchenko playing in midfield that hasn't done it for years. We had Benjamin Mendy, who's in and out of the squad. He's inconsistent. We had Sterling, who's in really poor form. So the whole left side was kind of ineffective in that game. And I think even then we were the better team, but we did get beat. But I think Stones, it's a shame that we lost that game because Stones was actually good in that game. And it sounds crazy, but I think he's he's almost underrated because everyone's kind of seeing it as, Ruben Diaz is doing everything. But we've seen him without Ruben Diaz and he's still, got wins against Tottenham and teams like that. So I think he needs a little bit more credit. I'm not saying he's the best defender ever.
I agree with you, Jan. I think with John Stones, because of all the hype he had those years ago, and then he had a sketchy time. It's almost when he starts doing well again and he gets praised, there's always this want to try and knock him back down. Again, when it comes to Chelsea, though, we spoke about like maybe weak links, John Stones, according to Daniel, with them. To win this game, it's got to be about finishing your dinner, hasn't it? It's still converting those chances. I know there was a big victory at the weekend. Anita, who do you want to see start up front? It's going to be a combination of three, whether it's in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-1-2-1, whatever it may be. I know it's random recently, but who would be your front three, and in what way would you play them?
Boy, it's difficult because I kind of want to see how Tuchel's going to play this. Like, it could go two ways. We can either give City the ball, or we can retain the ball. If we give City the ball and we're going to rely on, us pressuring them and us forcing them into making mistakes, basically playing them at their own game, like how they did when they played against us in December. When they played against us in December, they were pressuring us. We had most of the ball. They were pressuring us, blah, blah, blah. If we do it that way, I would love to see Werner start. I would love to see Werner start. I'd love to see Pulisic start. Did someone laugh? Sorry. I thought I heard someone laughing. Anyway, I would love to see Werner start. I'd love to see Pulisic start. I don't know if I'll start Kai. I'm not too sure I'll start him if I'm being honest with you. But yeah, I'd love to see them two start and possibly a Callum Hudson-Odoi up front. But I doubt we're gonna see that anyway. Playing as a not as a 9, obviously, but just playing as a winger. But I doubt we're gonna see that. But even if Ziyech starts, I would like to see them because if anyone can get in the balls behind the defense, is Ziyech. Ziyech can do it. So I would love to see whatever. No. This is about who I want to see. Yeah, this is about me. But that's only if we're going to be on the back foot and we're going to be pressuring. If we're going to be on the front foot, we're going to need people that are good with their feet, people that are good with close control. So Kai Havertz, Pulisic, and Mason Mount, of course. That's the only front three I want to see if we're going to be the ones on the front foot.
I hear you on that, Jem. Why don't you want to see Ziyech given an opportunity?
For that reason, because Man City will be aggressive, they'll be in our faces, and Hakim Ziyech has proven it a number of times that he's not the strongest when it comes to holding the ball up. He's very easily shifted off a ball. He's not in the greatest run of form as well. I just personally wouldn't have him playing against Man City. And also, you need a bit of pace. You need people that can be able to get the ball and drive. I think Christian Pulisic is someone that has to start for me. He seems to be getting into form as well.
When you've got people with pace, Jem, sorry, but when you've got people with pace, who's going to be pinging them balls for when we're having a counter attack? Who's going to be pinging them balls up?
The two that have been doing it so far in the middle, isn't it? So Jorginho's, whoever, Kante's, Kovacic, they're all playing. No, but what I'm saying is the way we have been playing at the moment is it's a build up from the back. So we pick the ball up from the back, we play it into the midfield, they turn around, they look forward, and they look for either the Mounts, the Pulisic's to come deep, pick the ball up, turn, and drive with the ball. So I don't think we'll change that much. What I'm saying is once we get to that final third moment, I'd rather have a Havertz, a Mount, and a Pulisic than have a Ziyech on that ball. Because he won't have the time on the ball. This is what we're not. Man City will not give us the time when we've got the ball. Do you know what I mean? They will be in our faces. They'll be aggressive. They'll be high up the pitch. They'll be trying to shut us down like we do with teams. And the one thing with Chelsea and Man City, and this is why it's such a big test for us this game this week, is that if you think about the similarities of both the teams, we actually play like each other. I think. In terms of the pressure, if you look at the way we move up the pitch, we shut each other down quick. We don't give each other time on the ball. There's a lot. So
probably any team that presses plays like Man City in it. Any team that presses plays like Man City because you push up.
If I agree with that one,
we've become aggressive in our nature. We win the ball higher up the pitch in right areas of the pitch. This is why our defence and our goalies don't actually do that much in games. I haven't been doing much in the games under Tuchel because we win the ball
game. Let's keep it humble, Jem. This is where I disagree with you. Let's keep it humble. We look at the Porto game and look at how we got pressured in both legs. We got pressured. Our back four, our back five, or back three, or whatever. We got pressured. Mendy got pressured. City are way more clinical than Porto. They're going to pressure and they're going to make mistakes.
That's what I've just said. I didn't say that.
You just said that our back line hasn't had nothing to do.
No, I didn't say that.
You did.
No, I never said no. I didn't. I said we've both got the same similarities in terms of we both like pressing each other when we haven't got the ball.
Yo, I don't know where this
I
is
don't know
going.
what the confusion is here.
Listen, we'll let the viewers decide. Viewers, you're front and center of our shows. Do Chelsea press like Manchester City? Give us a yes, give us a no. Let us know what you think. We're going to continue this conversation. Got some super chats to do. Man like Zane back again says it's Arsenal's destiny to win the Europa, just like it was Neo's destiny in the Matrix to be the chosen one. Man, like, you know what, Zane? I have obviously. We always respect the super chats from everybody, but I've missed Zane's Arsenal enthusiasm. I really have. We've got man like Bad Meets Evil says, I only want to see Werner if 100 million
meters, the 100-meter sprint.
100 meters is required. Yeah, that's what he means by that. I was like, that didn't really make sense. And then I realized what he meant by that. Let's do a few more here. Arjan says, have to agree with Jem here, Anita. Ziyech will lose the ball in dangerous positions and will be. And that will be ideal for City to score. Listen, I think Ziyech could be pressed off the ball fairly simplistically because of he hasn't adapted to English football quite yet. Ro here says most important player for City is Pep Guardiola. Wow. Nobody knew about Diaz, Sane, and Stones and Sterling were underrated before City signed them. I mean. Were they all underrated?
No, it's John Stones was hired. John Stones was touted. John Stones was touted as to being the next big English centre back. Ruben Diaz is being chased after by so many different clubs before. Sterling was killing it with Liverpool and almost won the league. And Sane, maybe if you didn't know about German football, you didn't know who Sane was, but he had a lot of things around him as well. So they weren't underrated. They had their rates.
There we go. On the question whether a Gem is right about City and Chelsea play, it's an interesting mix. It just shows how football is viewed. We've got yes, no's, yes. I'm a City fan, but no. There was this one. What was this one I saw here? There's hell no. There's yes. There's yes. There's yes. There's just nah. As well, one I saw with Gem's right to a certain extent. We're getting into nuance now, which is really interesting with these answers. Gem's right to a certain extent. Heck no. Nathaniel thought he'd laugh. Just thought he'd laugh at this. Yeah. Lots of no. And then, yes, it sounds like the guy. Remember Vicar Dibley? No. Yes. I love that show. Ooh, what's that? Jem did say the Chelsea defense don't have anything to do.
I was going mad. I really
that did happen. Listen, there's receipts. We are live on the internet. But get us your views, get us your opinions in, get your super chats in as well. Make sure you're hitting that like and that share button. In separate news for a few moments as well, did you all see what happened to Spurs today?
Yeah, they got banned by their sponsor.
By Dulux. They announced their new sponsor started trolling them today, right? Legitimately. When I saw that Dulux trending, I thought, I don't know what I thought, to be fair.
Is that what it trended? Oh, Lord. Right?
This is on our partners Gimme Sports website. So they put out like a post and they basically said, like, we are delighted to announce that at UK, the nation's #1 paint brand, is our first ever paint. Imagine having a paint sponsor. A paint sponsor. Do you know what they're using that for? That's the only thing they've got in their trophy room is paint. Right? But they carried on, right? And look at some of these replies. This is them. This is Dulux for sale. This is them. This is Dulux. Actually,
surely they can lose their partnership over that, though.
Yeah, someone lost their job.
Look at this. Can the dog play centre? Yeah, exactly. Can the dog play centre back? He might do a better job, Chris. Right? This is mad. There was another one, and I don't know if anybody got screenshots before it was deleted, but it basically said, I'm not too sure if it's here, but they also tweeted, the page doesn't exist. I think it got deleted. They also said something along the lines of, but what Spurs don't know is that the dog's an Arsenal fan. And like they literally.
Somewhat, I reckon their social media manager was an Arsenal fan and saw it time to like have some shots. He's lost his job. He has lost his job.
He might be doing that. I bet you he's deeper. I bet he's already leaving. He'd already put his notice in. He went, I'm going to have some fun today. But it's in fairness, though, I actually think it's quite funny. I know that it'll wind up the stiffs and the suits.
You know what it is? It's just unprofessional, isn't it? That's all it is. It's just unprofessional. So yeah, but yo, fam, if they had any Jose slander on there, I would have gave him a job. I would have, if you had got sacked, I would have given him a job. I would, yeah, fam, come work for me, innit?
No, I listen. I totally hear that. Super chat here says Jem is kind of right when it comes to ball playing midfielders. For example, Kova and Gundogan are similar.
No, they are not in any way, like shape or form.
Gundogan is Man City's highest scorer. What?
Nah, but Kova's a dribbler. He's better technically, and Gundogan's very, very good technically, but he's just a better goal. Like he's got an eye for goal. Kovacic isn't that. They're very different.
Very different.
It's a weird comparison, to be honest.
Hugely different. I mean, the only similarity is they're both quite short. That was what I thought.
Gundogan ain't short.
Is he not?
I swear Gundogan's like 6 foot.
Yeah,
I'm checking that right now.
He looks well short.
Yeah, I'd say he's about.
Gundogan looks like he's Bernardo Silva's.
Yo, Jan, help us out here. You should know this.
Do you know what it is? Most of our squad are so small that anyone that's like 5'8" looks tall. Like
5'8". Yeah, what's 1.8 meters?
1.8 meters.
Yeah, that's 5'9". 5'9".
5'10".
5'10".
You're right. Because I've always assumed he's tall next to all you Man City players, man.
He looked
yeah, listen.
You see Haaland stood next to...
He's 5'9", bro.
Yeah.
What? No, in my head, he is 6 foot. He's always been 6 foot in my head. I don't know why.
Everyone's 6 foot to you, KJ. That's why.
You tell the legs.
Hey, shut your mouth, you.
What I'm saying is, I'm short and I'm 5'10" and a bit. So this guy's a midget. I'm just saying, I'm taller than him. You know what I mean? I care about the height thing. Chelsea obviously didn't send a scout to watch Timo before they signed him, is what Davo has said there. Listen, I think they scouted him. It just hasn't quite worked out. These things happen. Chelsea have signed better strikers in the past. I haven't, but like, look at Crespo. Crespo was a superstar when he signed and just never worked. I'm a Chelsea fan. Need to respect Pep. Sane was like a Havertz signing, and Pep made Sane look so much better. Yeah, Sane was excellent, really. It just maybe a bit injury prone at his time at City, as far as I can remember, in relation to that. But viewers, you can get some more questions into us if you want. Another story that's come out today that I wanted to touch on, aside from this game, is there's news. It says the news has said there's been a blow to Chelsea and Manchester City in their pursuit of Haaland, because the player is going to be demanding £35 million a year in salary, and there are some reports that say that's after tax, which means almost 50% tax in the UK on that. It means you're going to have to be paying him between 50 and 60 million pound a year in salary.
There's Lukaku at home, fam. I'm over it. I'm so over it. Let's go bid for Lukaku. I'm over it. I'll forget it. That is ridiculous. Those are ridiculous prices.
Do you know what it is though? Like, even though I don't agree with it, yeah. One thing you do have to remember though is that if you get a guy like Haaland, it breaks the like, in terms of shirt sales, in terms of the sponsors, the traction you get to your team, all of that kind of stuff. Like, you probably get your money back in many ways.
But you know what it is, yeah? You look at the guy's age, right? Okay, I'm not saying he's not going to bang, but what if he doesn't bang? And then you look at everyone else around him. You look at you look at all our other Chelsea players. You look at the Mason Mounts. You look at Tammy Abraham. I'm not saying Tammy Abraham deserves a pay rise, but you look at Tammy Abraham. You look at Callum Hudson-Odoi. People around his age range, yeah, they're gonna be fuming. They're gonna be thinking this guy hasn't proven himself in the Prem. And if he comes and he ends up like Werner, there's going to be a problem. I'd rather not take that risk and spend what.
Listen, don't worry. Man United going to get him anyway.
On that, this again, some reports say that's his salary as standard. Some say it's after tax. Let's just say it's before tax. That's still £640,000 a week. It'll be the second highest paid player in the history of football in terms of his annual salary, only by Messi, that's on around £800,000 a week now.
After doing up the Australian Bundesliga and the German Bundesliga. No.
Do you know what? The only person that I will get for that money is Mbappe. That's the only person I can say, let's get that.
On that, though, what you said a minute ago, Anita, is very important to remember. And this is all clubs that are looking at him. What's very, very, very important to point out is the fact that, I want to say this in the right way, it's the knock-on effect that signing players at that level give you. So when you're like Liverpool, as an example, or any of these other big clubs that are looking at, say, Mbappe or Haaland, it's what their salary demands mean for everybody else. So let's just say, for instance, Man United sign Haaland and we pay him 600 grand a week. How long until Pogba, until Bruno, until Rashford, until these other stars that have done every bit as much at Man United as what Haaland has done just walking through the door are asking for pay rises? So if they all just get on average an extra 100 grand a week each across 5 players, you've suddenly added 1.1 million pound a week to your wage bill. That's 50+ million pounds a year. That's huge commitment for a player. It's anyone who signs him. You are right, Daniel. There are the marketing benefits and the commercial benefits to signing a player like that, especially in the what they refer to Insta and TikTok era and industry, which is going to be massive. This guy is going to have tens of millions of followers on Instagram. You can make money back on that. But if this player comes in on that money on a 5-year deal and doesn't kill it and doesn't score, does a Timo, it's honestly, it's almost like bankruptcy level business. If it goes wrong, it really is. Would you, Jan, as a City fan, would you endorse that amount of money being spent on weekly salary for Haaland?
Doesn't matter what I say. City won't do it. They're not. City, we've seen it before. They got to 70 million at Van Dijk, and we're like, nope, we're out. So I can't see it. I can't see Man City going from, being funny about spending a certain amount of money. They're very clear about their wage structure and stuff. Like, I really want Haaland, but I just can't see it because I don't think Man City, if there's somebody like an Andre Silva who, he's not as good as Haaland, but his record is pretty decent. Man City will see him for 30 mil and think, let's try and make him into a Haaland or something like that. I know what City are like. So as much as I think, the elite clubs buy the elite players. So Mbappe, like people are saying, Mbappe has 1 year left on his contract, similar to Haaland. If you're looking at the two players, Mbappe is more proven, and I would say a better player than Haaland. Haaland offers something different to Mbappe. Mbappe can kind of play across the front, whereas Haaland is your traditional sort of number 9 in that sense. He can also, he's got good hold-up play and other stuff. Like he's not just a striker, but he's more, if you want, like a number 9. Whereas I think Pep prefers players that can play here, there, and everywhere, personally. So I don't know. I think if it's between them two and they're going to be similar prices, I agree with Anita. I think Mbappe would be the better option because even branding-wise, he's going to be worth more. So
any club, I don't care who you are, if you're Real Madrid, Man United, City, Chelsea, any club paying those wages. No, stop it. Stop doing that. Don't do that. I know Haaland is the dog's bollocks right now. But the kid is what, 21? The kid's 21.
Yeah, he's a baby.
20.
Yeah, he's 20. He's 20. And you're ready to give him 30 million plus a year. No. That is one of the most it would have been one of the disgraceful contracts we will see in football.
It's also the pressure is going to be immense on him. And I'm not saying he doesn't want to thrive in it. I'm not saying it's a bad thing per se, but the signing has to work. And I'm saying that signing needs to work almost instantly at that kind of money. It needs to if Man United were to be the team that did it, or Chelsea were the team that did it, you need to win the title. You need to win the title. And within 2 years, you've got to be winning the Champions League. It's almost that amount of money being spent on one player. You think there's a thought that if you sign him on a 5-year deal with transfer fee, salary, bonuses, and agent fee, it's a £400 to £500 million investment in one player. And to put that into context, you can buy Newcastle Football Club right now for £380 million. Haaland as a player over 5 years is more expensive than buying the whole of Newcastle United. It's an investment that needs to give you trophies. You need to have the best commercial team in the world. Sort of tactically looking at this, going, how do we make all of our money back, both on and off the pitch? It's such a big deal. It's unbelievable. But viewers, what do you think? Is Haaland or any player right now worth over £600,000 a week in salary. Give us your views and opinions. Jester here with a super chat says 2 points. 1, follow Man United's blueprint, soak up pressure and hit them on the break. 2, Kane to Chelsea allows Jose to get Lukaku.
Lukaku ain't going to Spurs. Man's about to win a trophy.
That's like O'Hara when he was saying that Lingard should go Tottenham. Like, it's a downgrade, fam. It makes no sense.
So I was about to ask you on that question. I was about to ask a slightly different question to Chelsea fans here. I'll go to Jem with this one. If you could sign Kane or Lukaku, who would you pick?
There's not even a comparison. Harry Kane.
Yeah, it's not even a debate.
Yeah, it's Harry Kane. I wanted to ask. I know, like, you got that Lukaku love. He's an ex-Chelsea player.
Oh, he's not my love. I don't know him in my football club.
Lukaku isn't even on my list, and I've said it. Like, I personally don't think it makes sense. Like, I love him. Think he's doing well at Inter, but he doesn't make sense for the way Tuchel plays.
There's no love for Lukaku. He's that little cousin in the family that you just look at. It's like, why are you here? Go away, but that's how Chelsea fans treat him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Man, they don't like him like that.
It's just the penalty that he missed, and then he went away and went to Everton that same season. I was just like, you're pussy. And there's no love. There's no love there for me.
Wow. Do you know what's interesting about Haaland for me? Not Haaland, Lukaku, sorry, it's nothing football related. It's when he did a podcast and put an American accent on, that ruined it for me. It's like, bro, what are you doing? Like, when he tried to talk like he was American, and I was like, that just threw me. And then when he tried to rap, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah, he's spitting bars. Fire in the booth, Lukaku, bro.
Oh, but he's spitting. It was like watching your old uncle dance at a wedding. It was like, oh, don't do that, bro. I know Memphis Depay did it, and I've seen some sort of artist say that Memphis is pretty good at doing it, actually. But yeah, I mean, it's not the genre I really listen to, but yeah.
Jerome Boateng as well. Jerome Boateng made a music video. Yeah.
Another super chat here that says Haaland needs to prove himself even more. Chelsea have Mount to score in the knockout games, and Haaland did not score when it mattered. Chelsea don't need Haaland.
Don't say that. That's why you stretch it. Don't say that.
Man, wait. Are you saying because Mount scored, he's proven himself more than Haaland? Yo.
Don't get us misconstrued.
And I don't even subscribe to the idea that Haaland didn't score against City. I mean, the hold-up play for Jude Bellingham's goal doesn't get spoken about enough, because I think that was actually quality play by him. And obviously he was starving of service. And if you swap Foden for Haaland, Foden doesn't really perform in that Dortmund team as well, just because of the way he played. So,
in fairness, right? PSG's game against Bayern Munich, if the passes that put in Mbappe to put him in from behind weren't good enough, if the service was bad, he wouldn't have been as dangerous in those games either. It wasn't like his goals where he picked it up in his own half and he dribbled past 5 people and scored. That wasn't what he did in those games. Like, when he was in the box, he's better at beating a man in the box. There's no doubt about that than Haaland. But it does come down to service. And I was saying last night, I think for Haaland, one of the motivations to leave Dortmund will be the way they went out last night. When Dortmund go up against genuine quality, PSG last year, and then who they played last night? Man City. Sorry, it's totally at a mind blank. The level is clear, and he knows his team can't compete. And I think Haaland will look at this and think, I just need to already be in a better football team to elevate myself. Mohammed here says City are the second highest scorers in Europe. With these extortionate prices, Haaland can kick rocks. I'd rather Martinez.
Don't touch him. Why not? If they listen, I really like Martinez. If Man City get Martinez, I personally believe it's finished. And they will adapt him and grow him to be a very, very good striker. I'd rather him at United or anywhere else that ain't Man City. Don't touch Martinez, please don't.
Someone here said I'm insulting I'm not insulting Newcastle Football Club. That's how much I sell for, bruv. It's not an insult to say that's what you're on sale for. I'm telling you that's how much you're on. That's how much. I don't get it. That's not an insult to state. It's never an insult in this world to state a fact. It's not insulting to say, Terry, your hair's falling out. It's the truth, bruv. If you try and say, Terry, I don't want to listen to your football opinion because you're going bored, that's weird. That is actually one of the weirdest things on socials, I find. bruv, I know you just give me a football opinion about Rashford, but your hairline's rubbish. I'm not listening to you. That's the worst argument I ever heard in my life, bruv. But there we go. Man like Rowe here says Chelsea don't need a 40 per goal season striker. They just need an 18 to 20 a goal season striker in the Premier League because Chelsea do not concede goals. Do you agree with that, Anita?
Please give me a 40 per goal per season striker. What are you talking about? When you can have the best, why would you go for half of that? No, don't. I don't agree. I don't care if you don't concede. I don't care if you don't concede. I'm a girl that I love seeing my team pump team 6-0. I want that.
Quickly, very quickly.
Someone scoring 2 braces in a match, I want that. That's me.
Very quickly. It obviously not striker, but it goes back to the stream I watched yesterday, which I found hilarious. Obviously, when you guys were on yesterday, and they asked, and I was literally dying. They asked, would you rather have Mata who creates less chances? And I was dying. So obviously Terry's brought up the stat that
Prime Matter
creates less chances, less assists, and less goals than Bruno Fernandes, but keeps the ball more. I think it was something like that.
Yeah,
but Bruno does everything else more, and it's not even like the keeping the possession was significantly different.
Higher. And then they're saying that people saying that they'll still take Prime Matter, which was
that's when the agenda is so deep.
The question is,
there's no coming back. There's no coming back.
The question is, it's not get a 20 goal season striker or a 40 goal season striker, because obviously you'll take the striker more. It's would you take a 40 goal season striker or have a strike force that do 10 to 15?
This is what I was about to say.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. And that's the question. What would you rather, a strike force that shares or a striker?
And on that point, exactly. And you don't have it. And on that point, going back to yesterday's point, the whole argument about the Bruno thing, Matter thing is people are when they speak about Bruno to put him down, saying, I want someone who holds onto the ball more. Matter could do a better job if there was a so-and-so. Pogba could go in there. We've tried all these players as 10s, and we weren't scoring or creating this level of goals. It is like the test has been done. The results are in. It didn't work with any of those players to the same degree that it's working now. It's almost like it's not even trying to rewrite history. What it is, it's rewriting history the whole time. If Chelsea had 2 inside forwards right now that were scoring 15 to 20 goals a season each, and number 10 that was doing 10 goals, then you could handle a striker that's only scoring that amount. But you don't have that. So you either need 3 or 4 more goal scorers or 1 major goal scorer. You got to pick one of them.
Terry, that was my point. That was going to be what I was about to say earlier. Chelsea in the past has never had a 40, a striker that scores 40 goals a season. You think about who scored the most goals for us as a striker. You think of someone like Didier Drogba. How many goals did he get in one season? 29. Remember, was it 27, 28? Like that. Yeah. We've never had a 40-goal striker, but what we have had is wingers, different types of wingers that have contributed to goals. So, like Terry said, if we had a striker that was banging in 15 to 20 goals a season plus, and then we had the wingers contributing, then you don't need it. Do you know what I mean? As much. I wouldn't say no to it.
You also had the highest. You've also had the highest goal scoring midfielder in the history of English football.
Mm-hmm. We did, and he was contributing to about 20 goals.
But Jem, also, but the point is though, if you look at the players we have now, the reason why we're even in the market for a striker is because our attack isn't scoring enough goals. And you think we'd be in the race? By the way, you think we?
Yeah, you've been speaking this entire time.
I've been talking this whole time. My bad. Go on.
You think we'd be in the race for Haaland or Kane if we were scoring? If Werner had 20 goals this season, or Kai had 15 goals, like we just don't have a continuous goal flow, and that's the problem with Chelsea. When we should. There's no reason why we should.
Think we have yet. We've only had them for 1 season.
Yeah. Next season we'll see. But obviously,
and in many ways, they're going to get another season. So that's when push comes to shove, in my eyes, and we'll see what happens.
Can I just add? Like, I'm sorry to be that person, but are you not tired of having to have everyone in your front force to be able to score? Are you not tired of it? We've had this for how many years now, and we'll win a league one season. The next season we can't retain it because we haven't got that goal scorer up front. It is annoying.
But I've always said the biggest mistake was picking Conte over Costa. Like I think Costa had a couple more years in him as well.
You know what's funny? Yeah, I love this every single time. everyone's fan base wants what the others got. So Man United fans complain we don't have we have two players that score most of our goals in Rashford and Bruno, and we need to share it out more. More players need to get more goals. We need to reduce the amount of goals Bruno and Rashford are getting and give them to other players. But yet you guys are saying you wish you had a Bruno, you wish you had a Rashford who had a high number of goals to help your team out. It's just funny to me. It's just funny.
KJ, do you know what? Just quickly before that, the reason why it's cool. Look, I would be happy with a goal scorer that scores 40 goals a season. Don't get me wrong, but I think one of the other issues that we have is that we don't create from the deep line, from the midfield. So you can throw a 40 goal a season striker up front, but he's just not going to get them numbers of goals because we haven't got a deep line distributor, like someone that can pick the ball up and watch when he makes the runs, pick him out. I just think that'll be another issue for us.
Oh my God, Terry, bring up Danny's tweet, please. Not tweet, comment. It makes so much sense. So much sense.
Right, Danny, give it in details, Danny.
In details, yeah. Literally this. The problem with a 15, 20 goal striker is if they don't perform, you get nothing. If a 40 goal a season striker has a bad season, he still scores 15 goals. That's what we should be aiming for.
I agree.
Leagues though, is it?
But hang on a minute. Jem, the one thing everybody's missing here, I think, what it feels like listening, is it is about balance. So if you sign a 40 goal, you are creating chances right now because we can tell that by the conversion rate of a lot of your forwards. So a 40 goal a season striker, yes, you need to create more chances for him to get to his 40 goal mark, but he's still going to be outscoring the Werners and the Tammys of this world with the level of chances that you've got right now. But it gives you something to build off of. Man United's problem is I don't care who scores our goals in reality. I'm happy for Rashford and Bruno to be our main goal scorers. But what we don't have are actual creators in our front line. Everybody's a type of goal scorer this season. The only, so we need more creators. It's about having balance in your team overall. But to create balance, you've got to buy someone first. And right now, Haaland is available. Kane is potentially available. You get them in. If you need to add a deep line playmaker the following year, then do that. But you can't miss. Goal scorers are the rarest commodity in football. You can't miss out on them when they're available. Go on, Nitz.
And you know what? It's really mad, yeah, with this whole creativity fallacy that everyone wants to pull up about we don't create enough chances. We create chances. Our forwards, they are creators. They are actually creators. And that's what's so frustrating because they're trying to look for the next pass. But whilst they're looking for the next pass, we're screaming, just shoot. None of them want to just shoot. We need a striker that just wants to just shoot.
And you saw that with Havertz against Crystal Palace because his natural instinct wasn't to shoot, because if it was, he would have got a hat trick. He would get a hat trick because he's used to striking the ball, scoring bare goals. The four, I think he had like 3 opportunities that game, all casual. Like he scored the one, but the other 2 casual. He took it casually. Because that's not his thing.
But that's why Jan's sitting and chilling, because Man City and Pep, like they've won the league in 2 different ways. They've had the 30 goal a season striker in Aguero, and now they have a season this year where they're gonna win the league with the goals being shared out.
But what I'd say is this: Guardiola knows that the way they've done it this year, where Gundogan stepped up and scored an amount of goals, it probably isn't going to be sustainable for him. So they're looking for an Aguero replacement on that, as far as I'm concerned. What's interesting about what you said, KJ, there though, about like, and what Anita said about just not shooting. This is where football fans are mad, and I think we have to learn to leave our personal preference out. Man United fans, they want it to be Greenwood or Pogba or Martial that scores the goals. But because Bruno and Rashford take the shots and don't score them all, they moan they take too many shots and lose possession. You then have Chelsea fans that moan that their players are not taking shots. And the irony is, when you take shots, you always miss more than you score. The greatest striker, even the best finisher in the world at the moment, Lewandowski, only scores 40%, which means he misses 6 of every 10 shots he has. Imagine moaning about that. That's the crazy thing about it. Football fans,
that's why your fan base is nuts. No offense.
Football fans are weird. I call them creatures because they are weird creatures. There's no doubt. We had another super chat here that says strikers can kiss my backside. I would have Raheem Sterling, Jadon Sancho, or Martinez. Werner is fine, provides width and pace. Midfield can score goals.
He's saying that we need a midfielder.
Yeah, I want to ask Ken this question. You're about to become champions of England again. Do you want a proper goal scorer? Someone has to be able to play ball, but do you think it's important for yourselves to sign a new Aguero, a forward that can be multifaceted, play, drift out wide and do what he's got to do, but can score? Is that important, do you think, moving forward?
Yeah, apparently Pep prefers like a false nine. That's what a lot of people around him say. He's never actually come out himself and said that, but I think it's a bit obvious from when Aguero's been fit, he's not near the starting lineup. I know he's injured again now, but you know, he does tend to prefer that false nine. And to be honest, this season, I think some of our best games have been where De Bruyne has been at false nine, which is strange because he's such a good midfielder. But some of our best games have been when he's been in that position. So I don't know. It's interesting. Like I love the fact that Aguero, you could always rely on him, you know, especially in big games. You knew Aguero could get on the score sheet. So I think we do need that. We have got people like Gabby, who is a striker on paper, but his first instinct when he gets into the box is never to shoot. So to me, he's not a natural striker, because a natural striker would be looking to shoot. Like Aguero only needs half a chance. The minute he's in that box, he's looking at where he's going to put it. You know, whereas I don't think Gabby is quite like that. So I don't think he's a natural striker. I'm not saying he's not a striker, because he has played as a striker for Man City, but it's not his natural instinct to shoot. So I would like someone that can, you know, someone that's always looking to score, because a lot of the time City are trying to walk it into the net. And, you know, on days when it works, it's great. But days when it doesn't work, we need a plan B. And to be fair, this season we've kind of had it, because Gundogan has just taken the game by the scruff of the neck a few times and won us the game. De Bruyne always wants to score. So it's kind of worked this season. But I think we do need someone that, like an Aguero, we definitely do need.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a question about this. We had a super chat there from Ro, who basically says that, alludes to the fact that nobody wants one. Do you think there's such an obsession with, especially younger football fans that are heavy on socials, there's this obsession to be like and play like Pep? So it's like, no, I don't want a Harry Kane because Pep wouldn't pick a Harry Kane, so I don't want a Harry Kane. There's almost this element of people have forgot that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Not that you should be skinning cats, gentlemen, but that's just an expression before anyone gets the knickers in a twist. But it's almost like, yeah, okay, Pep doesn't use one, is in an out-and-out striker, but it isn't so much an out-and-out striker I think you need. You need regular goal scorers. You know, without Raheem Sterling's regular goals in the Pep era, you probably wouldn't have been champions of England. You wouldn't have done it. You still need a regular goal scorer. And if you don't have that in an inside forward, you need it in a striker. And it's, I don't really get what people do.
I blame Pep and I blame Klopp for this. Because, Pep, obviously, he started doing it with Messi back when he's at Barca. Obviously, when he's at when he's at Bayern Munich, he had no choice but to let Lewa do what he does, because he's just so good at scoring goals. But it comes to Man City again, false nine thing, he wants it. Klopp has given the license for a person with the number 9 shirt to be up front and not score goals, fam. This is what I mean. These guys have ruined it, bruv. From the moment you've allowed Firmino goals to get away for so long without scoring any goals from that position is the reason why people are like, but if our wide men score, it's okay. No, in a central position, it doesn't matter if you're a false 9, a traditional number 9, whatever it is, 9 is still in the title. So I expect you to score at least 15 goals. It's not hard. It's not hard.
I hear you on that. We've got another super chat here that says strikers score 20 goals and cost other. Sorry, strikers score 20 goals and cost other team players to put in a shift and a half. Nah, Chelsea is fine without a striker.
Wait, what? So you're saying because it means your team would have to work around a striker to score goals, you don't want a striker who can score goals because everyone has to work? That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
The fact that when Tuchel came in, I don't even know what it's saying right now, but there was a point where Jorginho was our top goal scorer. There's a problem with our team and we need goals in our team. I don't want to hear any more talks about we don't need a striker, we need goals and we want a striker, and that's what we need. Above everything else.
Look what happens though. So when you've got inside forwards or a midfielder that's scoring an abundance of goals, you can get away without having a prolific striker. But as soon as one of those people dries up, there's a problem. I just think you need, and it doesn't need to be a number 9. You just need to be champions of England. You need 2 or 3 players that are consistently scoring goals in your team. That are rare. It doesn't matter.
Can I just say thanks to that?
Just about getting 20 goals a season, then that's fine. But you need 3 people getting a high quantity of goals a season generally to win.
You can't just rely on a 40-goal season striker, because if you look at someone like Harry Kane at Spurs, how many goal scorers have they got in their team, and how far do they get each and every season? What do they win?
Go on,
you can't rely on two. For me,
Gem,
2
the
people.
point is though, if you bring in a 40-goal season striker, though, it elevates everyone else. Though, in my opinion, that's why you look at guys like it's no coincidence that when Gnabry plays alongside a Lewandowski, he can also get his double-digit goals as well. Like, so when you bring in that 40-goal season striker, everyone else begins to score goals suddenly, and it's because you better quality chances. Your striker creates much more than
They've got Harry Kane.
Yeah, but we've got a better team than we've got a better team than Spurs, though. We've got better players than Spurs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it doesn't elevate.
Yeah, but hang on, no, but it does though. When Spurs were on point, when Spurs were on their peak,
Eric Dyers.
Hang on. When Spurs were at their peak on the Poch, Kane was scoring 30 plus goals. Son was scoring high 20s. Dele Alli was scoring between high numbers of goals. Like, so they were doing it. So they had 3 players that were scoring goals.
One season,
hang on a minute. Okay, one season he got a lot of goals. If you look at his first 2 to 3 years, I'm going to go get the facts on this now. But his peak seasons, the Spurs' peak seasons. That's my point. They just didn't reinvest enough in their squad. If you look at Dele Alli for his first season, 10 goals, then 22, then 14. That for a midfielder is bloody good.
Yeah, it is. I remember that season.
And then it was 2018-19 season onwards, he dipped. But that's when Spurs have been dipping. So in those 3 peak years, they had Son, Kane, and Ali scoring lots of goals. But since certain goals dried up, they didn't replace it. And that's the point.
But Harry Kane didn't dry up, though, did he? So if he's
Sorry, Anita. Go on.
No.
Harry Kane's goal scoring has decreased since then as well. Facts.
But if it's decreased into what numbers? 15, 20 a season still?
No, but it's respective, isn't it? Because it's gone backwards because they're not as good a team anymore. If you suddenly put Bruno Fernandes in that team and you've still got Son in there, and you can spread the goals around more. And it isn't about spreading the goals; it's about scoring exponentially more goals. You know, if we're scoring 50 a season in the league, that's not enough. If I'm scoring 80 a season in the league, but I need to get if I bring in a new striker, I don't want to score 80 still, but he gets all the goals. I want to get 100 goals, 105 goals. It's about growing the number. And that's what Bruno did at Man United. We now score more goals. It isn't Bruno scores all the goals that we were scoring anyway. It's we're scoring more. That's the point of bringing in a 40-goal a season striker. If you look at Chelsea right now as an example, I want to get the facts up here right now. The league table. Sorry, I don't know how many goals you've scored in the league this year. Maybe some of you know off the top of your head. You've scored 50 goals so far this season.
Yeah.
It's highly probable that if you had 65 goals, which is only 2 behind Man City, you'd be well in the top 4. So an extra 15 goals at this point this season, which Werner should have easily 10 more goals than he's got right now.
Yeah.
Kai Havertz with 2 more goals, Ziyech with an extra goal, Mount with an extra
with like 10.
And you're second in the league, maybe even pushing for a title with an extra 15 goals. That's where it would put you. That's why bringing in another goal scorer would be important for you. Like them extra 15 goals are gold dust, bro.
You can even look at Liverpool. Like Liverpool, perfect example. Salah's getting his goals, but isn't at the same rate that he was scoring, and it's obviously decreased every single year as Liverpool have kind of slowly started to regress. Mane is not getting the goals anymore. It's no coincidence that Liverpool are where they are. Firmino is no longer scoring. I know, like everyone says, he was never a goal scorer, but obviously the first year, I mean, I think it was when Liverpool finished 4th. He bagged like I think about 20-something goals that season.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so he's regressed. And then obviously, you know, the whole Liverpool hysteria around the system is you need workhorses in the midfield, and then your attack scores. But now that their attack isn't scoring,
well, Mane's dipped, hasn't he? That's the problem. That's where the goals have sort of.
No, exactly. But that's what we're saying.
Yeah, Mane's dipped, Firmino's dipped, and then.
Oh, sorry, you were lagging, bro.
But This is why. Anita, you go, my dear. You go.
Okay.
Go.
That makes it easier.
All right, you go on.
The super chat that was talking about Chelsea don't need strikers. You're out of your mind. In my personal respectable opinion, you are out of your mind, because you look at Liverpool now. Yeah, you see why they're not retaining the league, because they ain't got a striker. Yes, they have Mane. Yes, they have Salah. But look at what's happened. Look at that. They ain't got a goal scorer up front. Mane's now dropped, and now Salah's dropped as well. Look at that. Who they're going to rely on their goals for? Not a striker. They have to rely on Salah, who's not playing to the best of his ability. It's ridiculous. Saying that you don't want a striker is ridiculous. You remember how many times we've suffered with a false nine? We have suffered with false nines in our part. Pedro has played false nine. Hazard has played false nine. Willian has played false nine. Are you not tired?
Played left wing in the Champions League semi-final.
We have strikers that are just flopped.
Look at the example here with Liverpool. The Liverpool example is very potent when you look at the facts. So 2017-18, that was the Champions League final season where they pushed on second half of the year. 20 goals in all competitions that year for Mane. The next year, second in the league, nearly won the league. High 90 points, won the Champions League. He got 26 goals. Last season, won the league, 22 goals. This season so far, just 12 in almost as many games as he played last year. He did that in 47 games last year. He's already played 41 this year, and he's got 10 less goals. You suddenly take away 10 goals from Mane, a handful of goals from Mo Salah, and the biggest decrease so far, half the level of goals from Firmino, and Liverpool not where they need to be. Liverpool fans have been blaming their defence and the injuries this whole time. It's their conversion rate that drops. They create the same amount of chances this season and the same amount of big chances this season as they did last year. The difference is the conversion rate for some of their players has halved, and if not by more in certain cases. That's why they find themselves outside the top four. Finishing chances is important, so you need to buy the right strikers and goal scorers. So forget the word striker for a minute, or number 9, because that seems to offend some people. It's about having goal scorers.
I agree.
And why that's even funny as well is that people are I think people are revising it as well, because we've seen it in history. Like what? The person that we call the greatest manager of all time, Alex Ferguson, recognized that his team needed a goal scorer. He did it when he bought Ruud van Nistelrooy, and then obviously you did your little bit of a rebuild. You know, Man United's rebuild was when they didn't win the league and they finished third, and then they'd come back and buy someone who'd put them over the edge. They bought Van Persie when they needed to, because they needed a goal scorer to suit and fit the team. And right now, Chelsea are in a situation where I believe we have the players, but all we're missing is a goal scorer. And don't be surprised if under Tuchel we only get a goal scorer and you see us competing for the league.
But breaking news. Paul Pogba is captain over Bruno Fernandes against Granada tonight.
Oh, beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? I want to see the Ollie Outers reaction. I just want to see it. I want to see what they're saying. I want to see how they twist it into a negative. Do you know what I mean? It'll probably be, I thought it's weak of him because Bruno's now going to be upset because he's his best friend, but I'm happy for Paul. I don't know what they're going to say, but yeah, that's good. I'm happy for Paul. Good guy. The only thing I'm disappointed about is I didn't really want him to start because I wanted, there's no point, but I'm happy he's captain. That made sense. So it is what it is. But there we go. Listen, great stream, everybody. Really enjoyed the chat today. Predictions before we go. KJ, who's winning this semi-final between Chelsea and Manchester City?
I think it'll be a very tight game, very close game. I can see both teams scoring. I think it'll be a Man City 2-1 in the end. But Chelsea will give them a game.
Daniel?
Chelsea 2-1, man. Gonna win.
Jem?
See, I've got this theory, right? This is my theory, yeah?
Go on.
All right? If they beat us on Saturday...
They go to the final.
And we catch them in the Champions League final, we'll beat them. So, and vice versa. That's the way I see it. So if we beat them on Saturday, but we both get to the final Champions League, they'll beat us.
So what if they beat you and you don't make it to the Champions League final?
That's what I'm saying. Then forget it. But I'm just saying, if we get to the final, you hear what I said? Big if. But I'm going to back my team, so I'm going to say 1-0.
Team for a hat, man. Team for a hat.
By the way, I just saw the Man United lineup. So there's no Ahmad starting. So this is the interesting thing with this one. So I don't know where the Ollie Outers will sit. So it's either they're so over the moon that Tuanzebe and starting and Pogba's captain that they forget to notice that Ahmad's out. It's an interesting one because they're weirdos. Jan, what you saying? Who's going through?
This is one of them games that could literally end anyway. I do think it'll be a close game. It might even go to extra time, just because of the way it's been in the past.
Yeah.
Hopefully penalties, because can't deal with that mentally. So I'm just going to say 2-1 City. I'm going to back my team. We do like a win at Wembley, but I think there's I don't know where the players' heads are going to be. I don't know how, what they're going to be focusing on right now. So I'll just say 2-1 City, but it's one. I don't think you can predict this game, to be honest.
I hear you on the super chat here that says it is only my observation, but Pep, Klopp, and Tuchel are the new breed of managers. These managers who do not rate a number 9. I think Tuchel does, by the way. I think Tuchel really does want a number 9 or a goal scorer through the middle. But he says, for all Chelsea fans, look at Tuchel, PSG. He didn't rate Cavani and Cardi. Klopp never signed a number 9. Pep also doesn't want Aguero.
That's not true.
It's got a point.
Well, Cavani was injured most of the time, so you couldn't pick him anyway.
He's got a point about Klopp and Pep, 110%. I think about those two. I thought I always thought Tuchel liked the number 9 as central striker. That's my observation of watching his games and stuff. But listen, I really appreciate that super chat.
Wait. Sorry. My bad.
Yeah, Anita, what's your prediction, please?
Boy, people call me too negative, so I'm gonna say 2-1 Chelsea.
2-1 at Chelsea. Lengan Sweet said 2-1 Man City. I am voting. Someone says Ahmad is starting. I just looked at the lineup on Man United website.
He is not. He is not starting. They're trying to razzle dazzle us.
There we go. I'm voting with my heart, and I'm voting with every fibre of my being. Chelsea to win 2-0. Stop the quad, save my footballing life, saving my season, keeping me happy. Please, God. Go on to Chelsea, boys. Up the Chelsea. Go on, Chelsea. Oh, please don't do it, City. Please. City win this game. Domestic trouble will definitely be in.
Terry, can you give me a postcode? Can you give me a postcode so I can send you a Chelsea shirt for Saturday?
That ain't
Proper Chelsea, Terry. Proper Chelsea.
Bro, listen, no, they definitely don't do that. Listen, everyone who's tuning in, take care. Goodbye. God bless. We're back live after the Europa League games tonight. With another super hit by Michael. I don't want to miss it. It says 1-1 at full time. Willie to win it for Chelsea on penalties. That would be a little poetic. That's a story no one's thought of. There we go. Listen, until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see